there, 83 Weeks fans. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the after party for all of our favorite podcasts. This is After 83 Weeks. I'm Christy Olson. The gang is all here tonight. We are going to pick the brain of our favorite Hall of Famer, Eric Bischoff. Get your questions ready. We're going to play a fun new game tonight. And there is a lot of catching up to do with the man who has been kind of everywhere lately. So thank you all for tuning in live. I got my friends Adam Woods here with me tonight. Whoop, whoop. George Hermoza and Steve Kaufmann. Hey, guys.
Hooty hoo, jigga what?
Ooh, ooh.
Oh.
Wow, jigga what? Wow, okay.
Jigga what, jigga who?
Is that a,
Careful.
is that a slur?
Setting
What is
an
that?
interesting
It sounds like...
Can we get this show started, please?
Tone for the evening.
Tossing that hot potato around like, I don't want to land it here. I don't know what to do with it.
There you go. Who's on first?
We are live with the one and only Eric Bischoff. Sir, you have been Raw, SmackDown, Raw Talk in St. Louis with Jeff Jarrett lately. How does it feel to be just sitting there in your home studio, just hanging out, doing a whole lot of kind of nothing for a night?
Don't take this the wrong way, Christy. I never want to sound ungrateful, but I really, really look forward to getting home. Let's put it that way. And I couldn't be happier right here. Home of the Wyoming Cowboys. You know what they call them? Like Minnesota's got Gophers, right?
Oh, yeah. It's so weird.
Ohio State's got Buckeyes, which is a nut that falls off a tree, but whatever. Wyoming's got Pokes. Like cowpoke. That's where it came from.
Like cow pokes.
Yeah. So
Finger poke?
Pokes.
Of
Go
doom?
get them, Pokes.
Go get him, finger poke of doom. No.
Hey, you had to bring that up.
Freezing your ass off in the stands, cheering them on, Eric.
Hell yes.
Nah, that won't happen.
Well, we have our friends all joining us in the live chat as well. Joseph Morning says, hello, Eric Bischoff. It was nice to see you last weekend. So clearly someone who came and hang out with you and Jeff in St. Louis last weekend. Give us a little rundown, Eric. How did it go?
It went great. It went great. I went down and stayed with the Ad-Free Shows team. Conrad Thompson was kind enough to get a big Airbnb, and we could all kind of stay together. And, you know, that was a lot of fun. I got in late Thursday night, hung out for a little bit. Friday, we just sat around all day long and watched, I kid you not, Royal Rumbles from, I think, 1989 on.
Ooh.
I've never done anything like that before. And if somebody would have suggested it, I would have had to find something else to do because the thought of it would have been like, I just couldn't do it. But, yeah, I was there and it just kind of evolved. And I actually had a blast doing it, man. It took me back to, a long time ago. It took me back. And it was fun to watch because you still forget. You know, you remember the names, but you forget some of the big moments that they were in. So it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of a cool gear up to the actual Royal Rumble as well. Is that something that you had an opportunity to take in?
No. No. I watched it.
Right, draws the line, folks.
I watched it back at the Airbnb, you know, with the team. But no, I'm not a go to an arena and sit for 4-hour kind of guy, no matter what I'm watching. If somebody sent me two free tickets to the 50-yard line at the Super Bowl, I would give them to a friend. I wouldn't go. No, I'll watch it. But the process of being in that big of a crowd and everything that goes along with it, nope, I pass on that. But before we move on, I talked about what we did on Friday. Saturday, of course, was the live event with ericandjeff.com. And I'm going to change that, Eric and Jeff Live. I'm going to change that to Jeff and Eric Live because, honestly, there were probably, I'm not good at estimating how many people were there. Less than 500, more than 300, something like that. And I would say 75% of the questions were for Jeff, which indicated to me that there's a big following for Jeff. People are anxious to see him live. And I had fun being up there with him. Of course, Conrad was perfect in that position. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of great questions. Met some really cool people.
I take offense on what you just said because in all due respect, it was Jeff Jarrett's first live show. So, you know, it's not your first. I know it's not going to be your last, so don't sell yourself short. I mean, I think there's
Oh,
still
I'm not
big
selling myself short.
I think there's still an EB crowd out there.
Well, if there were, they didn't have much to say. Let's put it that way. No, I'm not. I don't want to make light of. I had a lot of fans turned out. A lot of them wore the merchandise that I teased. Everybody to wear for a couple of weeks. So no, I had a lot of support there. But it was clear to me that Jeff was really. That's a guy people wanted to talk to, and I think a lot of that has to do with the quality of his podcast. He came off the ground strong, and he's getting stronger every day.
Also, I think the big question from the previous podcasts we have to ask is, you didn't go to catering?
Where?
At the Royal Rumble.
I didn't go to the Royal Rumble.
Okay, then that's what I was just clarifying, because you mentioned you wanted to go to the Bischoff position, as it's now known.
Oh, but no. Next time I come to an event, I go to an event. But no, maybe I'm not following your question there, Steve. But no, we got done doing our events on Saturday. We went right back to the Conradison St. Louis, and turned it on and watched it there, and enjoyed a great evening.
I was just clarifying because people want to know, because you had mentioned on the most recent episode that you had intended to drop by just catering. You didn't want to see the show.
Oh no,
you just wanted to get catering.
No,
and then Conrad wanted to print something out and put the Bischoff position on the door.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that at some point. And you know what? I'll tape it while it's happening, so we can prove it and we can run it on.
Well, what I want to know is if you and Jeff did a duet of his WWF theme song with My Baby Tonight, as well as him and Road Dogg did it at the Hall of Fame induction.
Oh.
No?
See, here's why I'm almost certain that'll never happen. Because Jeff doesn't drink anymore.
Oh, okay. There we go.
And hasn't for a long time. And I'm very proud of him for that. Very proud of him. And it would take so much alcohol to convince me that it would be a good idea that I just don't think it could ever come together. I just don't.
Point taken.
Most public singing can be attributed to alcohol consumption, for sure.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you, if you ever see me singing, you can count on that.
Yes.
Love that. While we are talking about maybe some tense things, maybe trying to figure out where Eric was, what he was doing, there was a little moment on this episode of 83 Weeks that I think we have to address. I'm wondering if there's some heat on StreamYard, and if Steve Kaufmann ever got things rolling there. I believe it was about mid-episode. Conrad sounded a little impatient, shall we say, and I think we have a great opportunity here to talk to the folks who are really running things behind the scenes. Let us know what was really happening during this taping of 83 Weeks. Steve, shine some light on this for us, the drama.
Yeah, please, Steve, because I couldn't begin to tell you what went wrong. But
so what had happened was I've built everything I have up to this moment on, at best, 2011 Macintosh products. It wasn't until that taping that I realized I need to upgrade. So I'm joining you all right now on a 2021 iMac. So that'll never happen again. What happened was
Eric.
The computer completely shut down. It was a problem. Y'all had to do some of the episode without a watch along, and then I had to restart the whole computer. But we're back now. Everything is good. And I thank you for bringing it up, Christy.
And it will never happen again.
Didn't tell him I was going to do that.
Hey, Steve, now you know how I feel every single week when Conrad and I record 83 Weeks. I get that same kind of, so what exactly did go wrong? Who booked that? I get the same thing. I'm on the receiving end just like you were. Thanks for bringing that up, Conrad.
But no, I expect great things from me now. But understand, I've accomplished quite a bit on very old tech. Now I have new tech. So bars way higher.
All right.
Okay. We can take the heat off of Steve a little bit, because all of our awesome live viewers who have plenty of cool questions going already, we want to say hello to all of them. Eddie, always good to see you. And Charlene and Brandon, Eric, who are asking about your thoughts on a news story that came out today The dirt sheets, as we call them, are reporting that Shane McMahon was supposed to be working with WWE for some months into the future and having a match at upcoming premium live events and at WrestleMania. And reportedly, he was a big player behind the scenes in the Men's Royal Rumble this weekend. That allegedly did not go according to plan. There was some drama behind the scenes, and supposedly Shane McMahon was sent home and will not be working with WWE in the future. And Charlene and Brandon want to get your reaction to that. Eric, what are your thoughts on these reports?
Well, all of these reports have come from the dirt sheets. And since the likelihood of accuracy in the details, whatever details were outlined or bullet points were outlined in their reporting, is based on hearsay, I would never comment in any other way than to say I have no opinion of any of this, because I don't know the story. I don't know what really happened or didn't happen. I don't know if 99% of the bullshit that everybody's reading on the internet is complete nonsense, or if it's partially true. And if it is partially true, what part of it? None of us know. But everybody's jumping to the worst conclusion, or a conclusion that consciously or subconsciously puts WWE or Shane McMahon in an unfavorable light. Here's what I know of Shane. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever worked with. I mean, he and I kind of hit it off right away upon my first arrival in WWE back in 2002. And if anybody would have had a chip on his shoulder or wanted to bow up a little bit or just to let me know where I stand in WWE at that point in time, it would have been Shane. And I wouldn't have blamed him, frankly. But you know what Shane did? He came over. Man, I've been looking forward to meeting you. This is going to be great. So glad you're here. I mean, in a genuine way. That's the person, Shane McMahon. Professionally, I've worked with him. In my last run, I worked with him backstage a lot and produced him and a lot of the Kevin Owens stuff, or a portion of it for that period of time, was stuff that I was producing. And I got to work with him, had fun with him. We'd get on a plane to fly home at night. We'd have a great time on the plane. Shane is not a bully. I've never seen that. It's not my impression of him. But he may be passionate. He may have had a strong point of view. I don't know. I wasn't there, and neither was anybody else, and I refuse to comment beyond that. The takeaway is none of us fucking know what really went on until we find out. We're all just jabbering.
A good reminder to all those folks weighing in here in the chat, and we love.
I'm sorry, and please don't be offended by that. If you enjoy that kind of thing, then go have at it, man. It's the world we live in. I'm not criticizing you for digging into it. It's just I have to be honest in my answers. But I'm not. If you dig that stuff, hey, have at it, man. Whatever makes you happy.
That is so not the way that I thought you and Shane McMahon's first interaction would be. I thought you guys would start off with like, hey, were you on the final Nitro? That's what I thought would happen. No, just me. Okay,
no.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, now that we got some great questions rolling in from our live chatters, let's get to some more of these super chats. I see one from John Collins who's asking, Eric's, you once said the WWE autobiographies were mostly ghostwritten with basically WWE spin. So are they still worth reading? And would you ever read your book as an audiobook? Oh, plans to make your book into an audiobook, Eric?
Not sure I said that. What I'm pretty sure I said, and we're kind of conflating two different topics here. I don't read a lot of the non-WWE wrestling books because those are often ghostwritten and not done very well. Little or no research goes into anything. It's just all what one person says was true, and it gets structured as a book. Not interested in that. Some of WWE's books, including mine, by the way, I didn't write my book. I didn't pull a Nick Foley and sit down with a pen and a paper and write my book by hand, or even on a word processor. I had a very, very good writer help me with my book, who also did all the research. And a lot of books, several books that I'm familiar with in WWE were written the same way, but they were done very, very well. And I'm sure some weren't. You know, I've read a lot of things in Ric Flair's book that made me go, okay, I get it. You're writing a book, but whatever. And there were others. There's a lot of others. But I typically don't read wrestling books anyway, unless it's something very, very unique.
Okay, that's an
So-
interesting.
And no, I don't think I could read my book. I think I'd be throwing up in my
audiobook?
mouth by about the end of chapter 3. I can only listen to the sound of my voice for so long. And my head wants to explode.
Quick plug for what you did yesterday. What do you think of Gary Michael Capetta's book, or the 3 excerpts you read of it?
Oh my God. I mean, I'm not going to go into it here because we have a limited amount of time, but I barely remembered who Gary Capetta was when I found out we were doing this.
Ladies and
I mean,
gentlemen,
look, that's not a knock. I know it sounds like one, but I didn't have any real interactions with him. He was a freaking ring announcer, just like I was a freaking C-Squad announcer. And when that started to change and I got into management, I had nothing changed in terms of the frequency of contact or interactions between me and Gary Capetta. So he was like a distant fucking. If you would have said that name, I would have. I know that guy. I know that guy. Oh, that guy. Yeah, that's what it would have been. And then I find out he writes a book, and then this stuff that they read to me on Eric Fires Back. I just had a blast with that shit. It was too much fun.
I think
If you
everyone
haven't
had a
checked it
blast.
out, you should. It's hilarious.
Adfreeshows.com. Go watch it.
Yeah, and while we're on that, Eric Fires Back, actually, Eddie wants to know, one of our ad-free show's top guys, if Mrs. B texted you back when you texted her your apology on Eric Fires Back.
No, she was busy. She was on the phone. She didn't even see that text till about 2.5 hours later.
Then did you get in trouble?
No, she wasn't. Nah. I don't get into trouble often. I don't do anything to get in any trouble. I mean, it's just me and my dog. There's nothing going on around here. So no, I'm a good husband. I do my share. I go to the grocery store, I cook sometimes, I clean all the time. Like if she's cooking, I'm cleaning everything, top to bottom. So I do a lot of stuff around here. I'll occasionally vacuum. Very fucking occasionally, but occasionally it'll happen.
just get a Roomba.
Yeah, that's a good idea. My dog would go batshit. Nick'd be chasing that fucking thing all over the house. I'd have hundreds of dollars worth of damage to furniture and shit because she'd be chasing that fucking Roomba all over. I think I'm gonna have to do that. That'd be fun.
10 points.
I got a question because you guys were covering Clash of the Champions a few weeks ago. Now let me know if in 2022 I'm over analyzing it or I'm very passe. But one of my favorite things about Clash was it just looked different. It looked different than Nitro. It looked different than Saturday Night. It looked different than pay-per-views. It just had a different feel. AEW is great. I'm sure they're happy. But one of my things, it's like Dynamite, Rampage, Battle of the Belts. The pay-per-views, they all look the same. There's like nothing. Like if I see a highlight, I don't know from when it was because it all looks like the same presentation. Am I just over-analyzing it in 2022, or is that something that maybe do you think AEW would benefit from just having a different looking set?
I think you are absolutely on the money, and somebody should clip that question and that perception or perspective of yours and send it to Tony Khan with your self-addressed stamp envelope where he could send you a fucking plane ticket. That was a great idea. Tony, it's okay to steal the good stuff. Oh, wait, you already know that.
There you go.
So George, book your plane ticket now. They're in Atlantic City next week.
There you go. No, it's a very good idea. And I mean, you're talking about branding the show. Otherwise, it's the same show with a different title, and you otherwise don't know it. Especially the way talent is currently, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it may be a good thing, but the way talent is circulating through AEW so quickly, I think it would be a great idea to distinguish those two shows.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, well, speaking of distinguishing, as I was watching this episode of 83 Weeks Back, I noticed Eric Bischoff, the C-rate announcer in WCW form, versus NWO Eric versus the Eric that we all know, had a different voice tone to it. Was that something consciously that you did to kind of emote authority in places you had to as a member of the NWO and what have you, versus you in your laid back demeanor and how we all know and love you here for on 83 Weeks? Was that a conscious effort? Because the tone changed for sure, and I think it added to your on-screen presentation and still endears to this day.
It didn't happen. First of all, thank you. And I'm all taken aback. It did change, but it wasn't a conscious. I didn't go, okay, now I got to change my voice. What do I want this? What do I want this character to come off? It just kind of happened, honestly. If I would have tried to make something happen, it would have come off really, really bad because I'm not an actor. But that was just an easy thing and an easy transition, and I didn't even know it was happening while it was happening.
So two fun chats real quick. One, a Chris Hemsworth. He claims to know you. You need to come over to my place in Melbourne, Australia, not Florida, to discuss this biopic when we can see Matt Damon and Byron Bay. You're looking sharp today. Chris Hemsworth paid $5 Australian to let you know.
Look, Chris is a good guy, and we follow each other on social media, and obviously there's been a lot of chatter out there. And Chris, I'll reach out to you privately. We'll figure something.
And another one, some would say a real one. Rocky Nelson Sr. wants to know, can you tell us how you really feel about Shawn Michaels' super kick?
I mean, if you want to,
Troublemakers.
as long as they don't refer to it as a sidekick, okay? If it's the Shawn Michaels super kick, whatever. It worked great for him. It worked great in the ring. You could actually make it appear as though you're kicking somebody in the chops and not, kick all their teeth out. So it was a great tool to have in the arsenal, especially the way Shawn used it. But if you call it a sidekick, then I got a problem, a real problem. So as long as it's a super kick, I'm cool. If anybody refers to it as a Shawn Michaels sidekick, I will come unfucking glued.
Is it the superhero connotation, or you just want a finisher to be a finisher and present it as such?
Say what?
You don't like it because you want it to be called a super kick for...
No, I want it to be called a super kick because it's not a sidekick. A sidekick is a very specific, highly technical, very effective martial arts technique. But to call something that is clearly not even remotely similar and confuse the public into thinking that what Shawn Michaels does is a legitimate sidekick, As a former martial artist, I'm highly offended.
Do you know Rocky Nelson Sr.? He's pointing out that this is an inside joke that's now outside. You've let us all know.
I'm not joking.
Okay.
Oh, well, there you go.
So Shawn Michaels is a shit martial artist, is what you're saying. That's what I got.
You said that.
Yes, yes, I did. Yes.
What I said is that kick that Shawn Michaels does, which is correctly referred to as a super kick, is not even remotely associated with the kicking technique referred to as a side kick in various forms of martial arts. They're not the same thing.
Right.
I'm not saying it's horrible. Great for him. He made more money in 1 week than I made in 1 year that same year because of that kick and that finish. I don't care. That was his finish. It worked, for God's sake. Who am I to criticize? How do you criticize success? You don't. You shut up and go, yeah, that was pretty good. But if you call it a sidekick, it's a different conversation.
Sidekicks is a great movie with Chuck Norris, by the way. If anybody's seen Sidekicks.
You're treading motherfucking thin ice now. Come on. Can we quit besmirching the good name of a fine martial arts technique called the sidekick? You guys are trampling all over it.
Hey, I agree with you on this one. I've seen a bunch of sidekicks knock motherfuckers out, so I agree.
Yeah, there's also a little fucking compact car that you can pick up and throw in the back of my pickup.
Oh yeah, the Suzuki.
I think that's called a sidekick too.
Was there a
I'm glad they
phone?
went out of business.
Yes, the T-Mobile
The
phone.
T-Mobile phone, the sidekick.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Bastardization run amok.
Oh, all right. I think we thoroughly covered Eric's disdain for the sidekick. Here's another super chat from NY2979 who says, Eric, I'm a huge fan and wants to know, was it ever talked about recreating the NWO in WWE with new young talent and having Nash, Pac, and Hogan as mentors? Was that an idea anyone ever threw around in your presence?
No, I think because by the time I came into WWE, they had tried the NWO recreation. Wasn't something anybody wanted to revisit in any way, shape, or form. So no, nobody brought it up. I'm not saying it would have been a fun idea, but it didn't. It never came up.
Wait,
Everybody tried to pretend it never happened.
Wait, a non-wrestling Shawn Michaels, X-Pac, and the Big Show in the NWO? That wasn't drawing money? Pish Tosh. What?
you forgot Booker T too.
That too. Yeah, Booker T. Yeah, he was there.
Oh, I'm really glad that you guys brought up Booker T because he had some criticism this week for the fact that AEW chose to put that MJF versus CM Punk match on TV instead of saving it for, we can still call it a pay-per-view when it's AEW, right? Booker T didn't think that was great business. Eric, do you have thoughts on AEW kind of blowing off all this MJF, CM Punk heat right for free on television?
I have nothing but love for Booker T, respect, we're friends, but Booker T doesn't know what AEW's business plan is. Booker T isn't in on the conversations between Tony Khan and Turner Network executives. Booker T doesn't know the 3-year, 4-year, 5-year plan, if there is one. Maybe Tony doesn't either. I don't know. But I'm just saying, if you're not there and you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, my opinion, just like Booker T's, doesn't really mean much. Look, my guess is right now, AEW is a television company that happens to do pay-per-views. Occasionally. What do they do? Them once every 3 months? I don't even know.
Four. I think they're not at 5 a year yet.
So they're doing 4 a year. They're doing once every 3 months. They're a television company. And guess what you have to do when you run a television company? You got to get ratings. That's what the networks expect. Guess what they don't want to fucking hear? I promise you this. Guess what TBS doesn't want to hear? Hey, we can't really put that on television because we're saving it for pay-per-view. You know why? Because TBS doesn't make any fucking money off the pay-per-view. So don't give two shits about your pay-per-view. They are passionate, however, about the ratings because that's what they do. So I think Booker's observation, with all due respect, is silly because he doesn't know. Just like my observation would be if I made one, because I don't know. So there.
Oh.
How's that for
I was hoping you were going to end it with, now can you dig that, sucker?
God, I wish I would have thought of that.
Eric, just say it. I'll cut to your one, and you'll say it now, and I'll just splice it.
No,
back in.
no, I can't.
Right.
No,
all right,
no,
we're not
you're
gonna
be in the moment, or it's a fucking gimmick. And I don't do gimmicks. I don't do gimmicks.
I have a question. I mean, I think I know the answer already. But
Well, I will do gimmicks every once in a while, but
I think we all know this answer. In life, obviously, like you can do whatever you want in life, but when you do too much of something, when you eat too much, when you even exercise too much, there's a thing called overtraining. Anything that you do too much is just unnecessary. do you think that it's possible to be too attached to pro wrestling? Like, just for example, like I know from a fan standpoint, but also like I was reading an interview with Cesaro, and he said like he was disappointed he was not in the Royal Rumble match, but he just feels like maybe he cares too much, and that's why he's disappointed.
Who said that? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time
Ce-
hearing you.
Cesaro.
Cesaro, very cool guy, by the way. Very smart guy too. Look, it's very individual, right? I can tell you, based on some of the social media shit that ends up on my feed, there's a lot of people that are way too fucking like see a doctor too close to professional wrestling. Like, get the right meds and take them sons of bitches. Because you're dangerous to the general public, to yourself. 5150, anybody? Come on. But I think, aside from that part of the people that are too close, I think everybody, no matter whether you're a fan and you have to decide how much time is really productive or not so productive to sit and watch wrestling. If you find yourself watching every television show there is during the week and watching video games and wrestling video games and reading wrestling dirt sheet websites, and I'd say, yeah, you probably got a problem. And then as you move up to the professional ranks, that gets a lot trickier. It's a very complex position for a talent to be in once they're past 25. And if they're moving their way up, or they feel relatively certain that they're healthy, they haven't any major injuries, and they want to commit the next 5 or 10 years, to the business, you're sacrificing an incredibly important part of your life because you're not building a career doing anything else, right? Now, unless you're one of the rare ones who have a college degree or some other type of job experience that they can just transition out of wrestling and right into a well-paying job. But the vast majority of them don't. And that's a tough spot to be in. And I think you have to balance the reality of that against the passion you have because you can go in there and perform and you really, really want to. But it has to be a balance, and everybody finds that balance in a different way. Some people don't. I think that's why you see some people, and I don't want to name a name because I don't know what their histories are and I know nothing about them. So I'm not doing it. But if you read about somebody that's got alcohol issues over and over and over again, and they escalate, and the more it escalates, the more obvious it becomes to everybody. Those people, I think, are the ones that didn't think about it. And we're holding on so tight to that opportunity and that feedback and that drug that you hear me referring to. It's just that intangible kind of cocktail that ends up in your veins when you're out in front of a live crowd. You get addicted to that stuff. I've said that before, and I think it's accurate in many ways for some people. So it's tough. There's different extremes, and everybody's got to get through it somehow.
No, 100%. Which kind of dreaming and thinking. I don't want to know the specifics, but do you have plans with the residuals from your WWE 2K22 downloadable content residuals? I mean, is there going to be another horse maybe on the ranch of Bischoff, or
No, I'm not buying a horse.
It's north of $120. I want to say the NWA version of the game. So I'm just saying. Do you have plans, or it's just like it goes into the account?
Google Fiji.
Ooh, good choice,
Fiji.
sir.
And how many cases of water do you plan on getting?
I'm sorry?
How many cases of water do you plan on getting?
How many cases of water do I want?
Am I the only one who
Fiji
gets
water.
that?
Fiji is a type of
Oh, I get it. No,
Don't worry,
because
I'll
I'm
cut
always
that part
drinking
out.
water when I'm on the show, and I couldn't. What the fuck does he want to know about my water? It's fucking water.
You don't need the residuals. You actually have a resident Fijian here, so I'll hook you up. No worries.
Boom.
Justin Vick says buy some NFTs.
Yeah, I'm going to run right out and do that.
That is something someone said to do.
Still don't get it.
I will point
Still
out,
don't get
Ray, speaking of paid gigs, Ray Burden in the chat wants to know when you're coming to Detroit, Michigan for an autograph session.
I don't know, but back to the NFT thing. If I knew enough about NFTs, and I'm going to have to learn at some point, kind of in the process of that, I ain't knocking NFTs, but I am knocking me right now buying an NFT because I don't know fuck all about that shit, but I'm learning.
Same.
It's
Don't know squat.
I mean, it's easy to get excited about, right? Everybody's talking about, oh, it's the next big thing. Oh, and I am excited about it. I just don't know what I'm excited about yet. And I'm trying to fill the blanks in. It's like, oh, I know it's going to be good, but I don't know why. Well, I'm working on figuring out the why of it all. But
Yeah.
what was the other question?
If you're going to be in Detroit, Michigan anytime soon.
You know, I hope so. I was in Detroit right around Christmas time, obviously, for Monday Night Raw. But I didn't get a chance to do anything. Get to the hotel Monday morning, get to the building late Monday morning, sit there all day, do my show, go back to the hotel, fly home at 6 a.m. But I still have family there. I've got cousins there. And I was just thinking about it the other day. I really like to go back and just kind of walk through my old neighborhood and just because I haven't been back there. It's been a long time. So I want to go back and do that. So whether it's an autograph session, and it probably wouldn't happen until spring or summer. Spring's already booking up just because there's so much going on. But it wouldn't be till probably early summer, maybe fall.
Also, real quick, while we're on that subject, Liam Evans wants to know, you mentioned on a recent episode that you got a call from a promoter in Wales about coming over. Do you have any more info? Any idea when it could be and where?
No, I have no updates on that particular call. There was a conflict. There was a scheduling conflict. They wanted me to come over this April, obviously over WrestleMania weekend. I'm a little busy, so couldn't make it. But good guy, Jamie Milner. I've talked to him a million times. I'll talk to him a million more, and hopefully it'll work out later on in the year.
Hell yeah!
Wait, hold on. What are you doing WrestleMania week? What are you doing WrestleMania weekend?
Rewind.
Actually, I can't tell you for sure. I just know when I saw Conrad last, he said, "Okay, we're going to WrestleMania. You're going to be real busy. Come in on a Thursday night." Okay, boss. So I'm going to be busy. Garrett's going to be there with me. We're going to do a signing. We're going to be signing and what's other stuff. We're going to be at Shenanigans with Kevin Nash. That'll be fun. I haven't had a cocktail with Kevin in a while. Ooh, doggy. Can't wait. That'll be a good time. And Dave Hero's such a fun guy, and it's a great event. So we're going to be that. We're going to do a live show at Gillies. More information on that as it develops. We just got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Kevin just recently went back to Detroit for GCW in the
I saw that.
couple weeks. Yeah. So that could be a thing.
I don't think they got any room for me on that one.
No exploding death matches? Like,
no.
That?
Let's bring out the old guy that hates what we do. Give him a big hand, everybody.
Well, you'll be in Jeff Jarrett's corner.
No.
His next GCW match.
No, it ain't happening.
Speaking from those who have come and seen you live in different places, Eric, Thomas Gidlow wanted to say that it was a pleasure getting a quick handshake and photo with you on Saturday, and he wanted to thank Steve and company for everything. He said it was a crazy weekend. Crazy.
Well, I'm really glad you came, Tom. It was a fun weekend for us. That's what I love about doing those things. They're just fun. I mean, it's fun from the beginning to the end, and I think that's why the audience loves coming to them. That's why we get a lot of fans that come from all over the country, to all of them whenever we have an event, because everybody has a blast. You get to know people, and there's usually an open bar somewhere close, and hell, why not?
Well, our live viewers are really excited about the idea of you in GCW now. Michael Berry Sr. said you would be the perfect manager for Matt Cardona.
Yeah, well, probably true. Pretty good at whatever I do. I'm pretty good at whatever I do. Sure, it would be great. It's just never going to happen.
Well, here's another super chat that will lead us into a very fun game that all of our live viewers are going to help us out with too. This one comes from John Collins, and he wants to know, Eric, how do you feel about the AEW separation from Brian Kendrick because of personal thoughts about conspiracy theories, which were discussed 10 years ago? So I assume you've heard the details on this. AEW had booked Brian Kendrick and then decided to not to use him last night after some comments came out that he made 10 years ago, as John Collins points out here. How do you feel about that?
I think Tony made the right call. It's one of those situations. Nobody ever wants to be in it. And every situation is different. So there's not like a playbook. It's not easy to figure out how to handle those things. It's a tough spot for anybody to be in. I'm sure it was for Tony. I think Tony did what he had to do under those circumstances. The key thing is be consistent. The minute you start coming down hard on somebody for one thing, but then letting somebody else who's kind of guilty of the same type of thing off a little lighter or differently, then you're opening yourself up to a battle you cannot possibly win. Then you're just caught in the crossfire. And that's the danger. And that's why that decision was so tough for Tony. So I have empathy for him in that one. I can feel that one. Yeah. In general, I don't really, I wanted to say I didn't read, this morning when I heard about it, I went, okay, I don't want to read whatever he said. I don't want to have an opinion on it. It's none of my business. I just don't want it. I kind of tuned it out. And then it ended up right in front of me. And I read it. It was 10 years ago, but how old is Brian Kendrick now? 34?
No.
Oh, no, he's
40s.
in his 40s.
Yeah.
40s? Okay, that's worse. So he was in his 30s. He wasn't a kid. He was a grown-ass man. And putting things out there like that, you're opening yourself up. And you deserve whatever happens because it's a stupid thing to do. It's a stupid thing to do. And when you do really stupid shit, you got to take it on the chin and move on and try to get on with your life. Because you can't blame anybody but yourself. It's unfortunate, look, the stakes are different now for all of us, right? We have to all be very, very, very careful with what we say and how we say it. And even in just having fun, everybody's joking around, or you're trying to get attention, or here's what happens. And this is why social media like Twitter and shit like that is so bad. There are times when you're trying to be funny. You know what you're thinking and you know what you're feeling as you're writing it or typing. And you just assume, because that's human instinct, because until this came along, right, we actually were looking in each other's eyes and you could tell that this was meant to be humorous. But there are times when you get, emails or texts that someone sends that they think you'll get the joke and you don't. It kind of go, well, fuck you.
Right.
Well, all right, motherfucker, we'll see. You get defensive. Person sending it didn't intend that. If you would have been standing in front of them and they said the same thing that they sent you in an email, you would be laughing along with them. And that's the danger when you start, exploring the boundaries of, social taste, regardless of how you feel politically. Stupid. Oprah Winfrey, smart woman, right? Whoopi Goldberg, dumb shit. Come on. It's the same thing.
Yeah. 1,000%.
So when you look at what Kendrick typed, tweeted, so whatever it was, 10 years ago, and you can, okay, what should we do here? If I'm in Tony's shoes, what should we do here? Oh, this is fucking horrible. Why would anybody be so stupid? Why didn't I know this earlier? You'd be angry. You'd be frustrated. And you'd be trying to figure out what to do, right? Then you go over here and you see what, Whoopi said. Now, I'm not suggesting the time would have worked out so that Tony could compare the two outcomes, but she got suspended, which I guess is a pretty big deal. I don't know if she got suspended with pay. If she got suspended with pay, she's probably laughing her ass off. But if it cost her money, along with the embarrassment, it's pretty bad. And they gave her 2 week suspension. So now, is that the standard? Is that Tony's standard? Should that be everybody's standard? If so, if it's okay for Whoopi and she gets suspended for 2 weeks and she comes back to work, then should Tony suspend Brian for 2 weeks and let him come back to work? That's a problem with this stuff. Is it's all insane. It's all insane.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. And so let's talking about Brian Kendrick. Let's talk about some other free agents, release superstars that are out there roaming around, because as our live chatter, California Dreamin' says, Eric, you are the best GM WWE ever had. So
I know.
Oh, he knows. Don't tell him again. We are going to play a fun game that I am going to call Good Luck, Let's Talk, Sign Here. All right. We are going to kind of pitch you, Eric, just in case you're not familiar with whoever they are, give you some accolades or whatever it is, kind of refresh your memory on a free agent. And you can tell us, as one of the most successful presidents, GMs, all of the above of all time, whether you would sign them, maybe consider entering into some negotiations, or whether you would just wish them well. Maybe you don't even know who they are, or you don't see a lot of value in them, and you just say, good luck, sir.
Wait, before we start this game, do any of them have an attorney?
I'm pretty sure they can't afford one, seeing as how most of them have been recently.
Not Jeremy Divot for sure.
Because if they do have attorneys, you might advise them to leave the attorney out of the equation.
There you go.
No, it's all in good fun, and we're going to lob a couple at you, and I want our live viewers, too, to pitch some to you. So everybody play along. Good luck. Let's talk sign here, and I'm going to start off with the first one, Eric. Former WWE Universal Champion, a man who's billed at like 380 pounds, Adam Scherr, formerly known as Braun Strowman. Do you wish him good luck? Maybe let's talk, or sign here, bro. We're doing this.
Is there a salary cap involved here?
Nope.
Well, then hell, that way I'm going to be a Tony Khan. I'll take him.
That's exactly the kind of commentary we're looking for here, Eric. So shoot, guys.
Eddie Prather has one for you. Tony Storm.
Yeah, so former Mae Young Classic winner and a woman who really seemed like she was on her way there at WWE until she recently, allegedly, stepped away on her own accord.
Well, I definitely want to talk to her and find out why she stepped away. Did she step away because she wanted to raise a family? Did she step away because she wanted to go to school and become a doctor? Or did she step away because
she's taking independent bookings now?
Okay, then she still likes the business. So, yeah, I definitely have to have that conversation.
Okay.
All right. Tony
also,
Storm,
Charlene Sternagel, not the first person in the chat to say sign George Hermoza.
Oh, we'd figure something out for George.
There we go.
George could be my Jimmy Hart.
Ooh, I want to pay to see that.
Speaking of which, what about Ember Moon?
Who?
Oh, yes.
Ember Moon?
Ember Moon, former NXT. Ember Moon, former NXT.
Oh, Ember Moon. I'm sorry. I thought you said Thunder Moon. I'm going, I don't know.
Oh, that's a cool
That's
name.
my next one.
Who doesn't want to meet a chick named Thunder Moon? Sounds like a stripper. That'd be cool. Ember Moon. No, I liked Ember a lot. I got to work with her just a little bit in WWE. We were trying to work out some things and work on some things together and, get into an idea of a new character for her. And I got in that process, I got to know her a little bit and really enjoyed working with her, even on that limited basis. Liked her attitude, liked her. She's got good ideas. She's creative, and she's experienced. And by that I mean she knows what's a good idea and she knows what's not. Pretty well. So that would be a definite conversation. I'd have a concern about her Achilles heel because that was an injury that she sustained while I was working with her. But provided she was perfectly healthy, absolutely. That'd be a conversation. More than likely to be an offer. If she was healthy, that'd be an offer. I wouldn't need to talk to her much. Already got to know her quite a bit.
Sign here. All right, Brandon Coon's got a good one. What about Bray Wyatt?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Okay.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Working the line. Yeah, Liam Evans, Killer Cross.
I like him. I don't know him. I say I like him. I like the persona. I got an amazing look. Just watching his social media suggests to me he's a pretty deep creative thinker. He's thinking beyond just, what if I come out with this character? Or come up with this finisher. He's thinking well beyond that in terms of his own character and the way it's being presented even on social media. So that'd be a very, very positive conversation.
All right, let's talk. Here's a great one from Charlene, someone who actually said that he was looking for an entry in the Royal Rumble and is in shape and ready to be back in action. That's X-Pac. What do you say, Eric?
As a talent?
Yeah, he wants to get back in the ring. He's waiting for his opportunity.
I saw some of the stuff he did. He could still go.
Mm-hmm.
And in some respects, I think he's got a cooler look now than he even did before. There's something about a badass old fucker, And it's not just in wrestling. You look at Yellowstone. Look at some of the badass characters that you're seeing on television. Now, a lot of them are younger because TV has to skew younger in general, but you see a lot of supporting cast heels in dramas and westerns. Those old badass fuckers. There's always a role for them. Always a role for that 45, 50-year-old kind of on the edge of, getting his AARP card, but can still kick your ass. There's always a role for that character in movies and television. And yes, even in my fantasy wrestling company.
I love that. Here's a really good one from Pubert O'Hare. This will probably be our last one. He's
Hubert O'Hare.
Very creative. And now this is a current AEW signed wrestler. However, there are reports that his contract is about to expire and AEW has not been using him. How do you feel, Eric, about Brian Cage?
I haven't watched enough of his work, to be honest. I just haven't. I know who he is. And I've probably seen him in a match or two, but, as something that was going on while I was doing something else at the venue. I can't recall seeing him on television. And, I'm not making any apologies or certainly not disrespecting anybody. I just don't watch it. I watched 3 hours of Monday Night Raw this past Monday night because I was on Raw Talk immediately thereafter on Peacock Network. And I thought, man, if I don't know what's going on in this show, I'm going to look like a real asshole. So I sat and watched 3 hours Monday Night Raw. I'm good for a while. So the fact that I haven't seen Brian Cage on TV is not a reflection of him or in any way derogatory to him or AEW. I can only watch so much wrestling. And most of it I get on my phone.
All right. So good luck, Brian Cage. That was really fun. Yeah, that was fun, Eric. And I want to thank all of our live viewers for chatting along.
Are we done?
We are not quite done, if you don't mind.
No, but are we done with this part?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. We want to leave them wanting a little bit more, and we are going to switch over and make sure that we get to all of our ad-free shows, friends, questions. So if you guys are
I don't want to be done.
Oh
no,
I don't want to.
We're still going to keep going.
I don't want a bunch of people not being able to join us. I love these people that you've created with this show. We've got a hell of an audience here.
Then
all right, let's just keep rolling.
We've got plenty more of these if you want to.
Yeah.
We've got plenty more names if you want to keep going.
Yeah,
Mick-Mac,
we'll do one more because I don't want to.
Okay.
Because then I'm not servicing the ad-free shows people. So let's give him one more. Let's give him a good one.
All right, a good one.
Nothing
Nick Aldis.
serious. I don't want to be serious.
Yeah,
Fucking hate being serious.
Oh, a not serious one.
Nick
Aldis
Aldis
is-
is great. You're great.
Nick Aldis.
Nick Aldis is great.
Oh, I definitely saw a Gilbert in there.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Could he fill any slots for you, Eric?
No, not that I can think of.
Oof. Ouch. Sorry, Gilbert. Try again.
All right,
next
well,
time.
good. Again, positivity. Good luck, Gilbert. That's what this game is all about.
Oh, we were
And-
still playing the game.
That's
I thought you asked me if I saw Gilbert at the St. Louis event. We shifted
Was he-
gears here. What the fuck, you guys? Keep me on the
Question
rails.
about
It was just as
your
good.
Name.
It was just as good.
Gilbert,
officially
no, I
a-
bring Gilbert in. Gilbert's funny. He's a good dude. I ran into him at an event a couple weeks ago. Super guy. Like him.
Sign
him.
here,
Bring him in.
Gilbert. Love it. Oh, I see one more good one. We can't
He
stop
could be-
now.
he
How
could-
about
He could be, what was the name of Jericho's security guy?
Ralphus.
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 He could be our new Ralphus.
Oh, yes.
But he could get in the ring and bump. Awesome.
how about
One more.
how about Lana? Miro's wife made a big splash during her time in WWE and is now a free agent and a reality TV star. I'm a big fan personally. What about Lana?
Definite discussion. I'd have to think about the realities of her being in one company and her husband being in another. That'd be tough. It'd be a tough hurdle for me to get over.
Right.
Because people could say whatever they want to say when it's all new. But those are tough situations. I've been in them. I've watched them. I've watched some of them in very close proximity. Yeah, I'd have a conversation, but it'd be a tough conversation.
Yeah. Ooh, that is
I
something
would
to
take some
think about.
convincing. I would have to be convinced, and that wouldn't be easy to do.
Well, if she's looking for an agent, CJ, you know who to call. I'm here for you. And this was so fun. We're going to give a few more minutes, answer a few more questions for our ad-free shows fam. So if you're watching there, just stay tuned. We are here. And if you are tuned in on the 83 Weeks channel, thank you so very much. Make sure you are subscribed. We do this every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, break down the latest episode. And if you sign up at adfreeshows.com, become a top guy or whatever tier works for you, then you can hang out on our special private after party here at the end of the show. So
It's where we
thank
get
you
out
all
the
so
sock
much.
puppets and play the porn music. It's great.
That's
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Not yet. Not
There's
yet.
no better tease than that. So ad-free shows, folks, sit tight. And everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you live next week. Don't go anywhere. Top guys, ad-free shows friends, Eddie, Charlene Nicholas, all of our faves, Mick Mac. You know who you are. It's time for the VIP after party.
Ooh.
It's going down.
Private party.